Hey guys, and welcome to your first PHP tutorial. My name is CodeCool, and these tutorials are brought to you by CodeCall.net. Today we'll be covering how to properly set up your WAMP server, as well as getting you started on an IDE. Alright, so a few basics before we get started. WAMP stands for Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. However, for this first little bit here, we're only going to be focusing really on the Apache and PHP part. Just the basics of PHP for now. And then in later tutorials, we'll start introducing database and MySQL type things. So, let's get started here. First off, just off your C drive here, we're going to place a couple of folders. One for your PHP install and the other for your web server. What we got? Alright. Let's just create a web server directory right here, and I made another one for PHP. Okay. Now there's a few links in the description below. These links are provided so you can go and individually download both the Apache server and the PHP. However, I couldn't find a site that had both 64 and 32-bit Apache installation files, so I kind of had to go through two different ones. That's why there's three. So if you're running a 64-bit computer, you're going to click that first link there, and that'll take you to the 64-bit version. And if you're running 32-bit, you're going to obviously click the other one, the second one in the list. Okay, so I'm running a 64-bit, so I'm going to go here. I'll show you where they all are in the other one as well, but let's just do this first. Well, the one we're looking for is the Apache 2.2.22 x64 no SSL .msi file. And that's just your regular Microsoft installation file. So go ahead and download that. And once that's downloaded, go ahead and install it. You should be prompted for, first of all, like as soon as it starts up, click typical installation, and then go through all the basic server directories. And then when it prompts you for a place to save it at, just put it in that web service folder that I told you to. For those of you running 32-bit machine, however, you're going to go to this site here. It's the same deal. It's the same file. Where is it? 32. Yeah, right here. httpd 2.2.22 win32 x86 no SSL.msi file. It's the same thing. And it'll be the exact same installation on both sides, even though the files are named slightly differently. But yeah, so click typical installation. It'll prompt you for like a server name and a whole bunch of this other that you may or may not know about. Don't worry about it. Fill in as much as you can. When it prompts you for like a .com name, like it should be right near the very top, that first text field or so. Don't really worry about that. You can put in a domain if you have one, but these tutorials assume that you're completely new to PHP, so just throw whatever you want in there, ending in .net, .com, anything you really want. And like I said, install it to your web service folder. Now, if you did everything correctly, you should see something like this. You'll see a whole bunch of this crap in here. Don't worry too much about this right now. We'll go over it in later tutorials. You're not going to see a whole bunch of this stuff. The only thing you should see is this file right here. Come on. Alright, so, oops. There. So, if everything went perfectly according to plan, go ahead and go into your browser and type in localhost. That's all you should see. If this is what pops up, that means your server was correctly installed and you are now running the first set of a WAMP machine, which is pretty cool. Alright, so go back into that directory, click on index, and put a dash in front of it or whatever, just so that its name isn't exactly index, and then reload that and you'll get the directory structure. This is mostly what we'll be working off of, seeing as how in my tutorials I'm going to branch everything out and put it in all these different places and such. This local hosting just makes it easier to navigate through, rather than having to type localhost / and then go through it all, having to bypass index. It automatically does that just by renaming the file. onto PHP. PHP is a server-side language. Getting onto it, you're going to click that third link in that list below, and on my machine, where are you? I'm near here somewhere. Please excuse my horrible array of bookmarks. Alright, so you're going to go to this site here, and we're going to scroll down to PHP 5.3, thread safe, and we're going to download the installer. So go ahead and download that, and as you're going through, it'll prompt you for a couple of things. The first should be a place to save it in, and that'll just go off your PHP directory. I say this because later on we're going to be using php.ini, and it's easier to access php.ini if it's right off your C drive. Alright, so after you've done that, it's going to prompt you for your server type. You're going to select the Apache 2.2.x module. Alright, this is important. Once you click browse, you're going to pull up the system directory or whatever, and you're going to go to web server, conf, and you're going to pass in this file. And give it this file to work with. That's the configuration information for Apache. This will tell PHP what it's working off, where to go from, all that jazz that you really shouldn't be worrying about just at the moment. So go ahead and give it that and install it. And then you're going to click on your little sys tray bar here. You're going to right click on the Apache monitor that should be there. Open the Apache monitor and click restart. Alright, now that that's done, go back to localhost. We refresh that. You should see still your basic directory, that's fine. But coding our first program, you're going to open up an IDE. What an IDE is an integrated development environment, I believe that's what the acronym stands for. Anyway, basically it's a glorified text editor used for writing code. There's tons of different ones you can use for PHP. I myself am using something called Komodo Edit. It's freeware, so it's free to download, install, and use. However, it really doesn't matter what you use. You could be using Notepad, Notepad++, Context. I've heard of a couple of other ones too, like, and here's where I draw the blank, right? Alright, so it really doesn't matter what you use, just some sort of text editor where you can edit the code in. Okay, I'll be explaining more on PHP syntax in the next tutorial, but for now, we're just follow along. So you're going to open and close your PHP tags. Whoops. Yeah, make sure it looks like that. And then in between those tags, you're going to write PHP info round brackets, just so you can see that. Alright, once you got that, you're going to save it to your htdocs directory. You're going to save it as, come on, phpinfo.php. I've already got mine in there, so I'm just going to cancel that. Absolutely not. Alright, so once you've saved that to your htdocs directory, click the refresh button. You should see something that says phpinfo.php somewhere on there. Mine will be down at the bottom right here. So go ahead and click on that. This is what you should be seeing. Just a basic purpley output that gives you a whole bunch of information based on PHP that you probably haven't recognized. Actually, if you've ever used free hosting and you've seen this page, free hosting software already has PHP installed. Some of them come with a PHP installation. So browsing to this page will give you the information based on what version of PHP you're currently running. We should be running this one or a variant of it, but it should be 5.3. That's what you should see up here. Alright, if this is what you see, then congratulations, you're now running a WAMP stack, really. That's kind of what this is. If you don't, if all you see is the code that you wrote in the editor or something else, some kind of error popped up, first of all, try debugging it. So first, that's going to open up the support system. Wonderful. So again, you can click on Apache 2.2 and click restart again, and that'll restart it, and then refresh it. If that doesn't work, try restarting your computer. If that doesn't work, then you might have an error in your code. Like if you get an error like this, and I deleted it, that's fine, I can always open it. htdocs. PHP. Okay. So say you forgot your semicolon at the end of the statement. Actually, will that make a difference? No, it won't, because that's the only statement in there. Alright, so say you did what I did the first time, and that's your code. And then you run this. You shouldn't get anything printed to the screen because it doesn't know what it's writing. Okay. Just so you know, like opening and closing tags in PHP are kind of single line. It starts with chevron question mark PHP, and it'll always end with question mark chevron. That'll be the statement. So that's the function we're using to get the information about the current PHP installation we're running, and that just displays an entire HTML formatted text page based on the information on PHP. Uh-oh, what'd I do? I didn't save that, did I? No, I didn't. I swear I'm sober right now. Alright, so just basic debugging and stuff. I'll go over in detail more about that kind of thing in the next tutorial. However, this is what you should see for your final output. If this is what you got, then great. If not, then hopefully I'll be able to debug your code in the next tutorial. If it's still not working, you might have an issue with the installation files or something. Just drop me a line on code call, or yeah, code call's best actually, because if I don't get to you, someone who does know about this alongside me will. So yeah, congratulations, you're now running a basic web server. Any questions, concerns, and comments, feel free to leave on code call. Let me know what you think of these tutorials. I'm new to this kind of thing, so there'll always be room for improvement, so feedback will be greatly appreciated. Thanks guys, and thanks for watching.